Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Morning Leap session for Wednesday, May the 14th, 2018. My name is Doug McKay. I'm the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we get together in these live go-to sessions to take a look at the market, macro and micro, take a look at the structure market, then we drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses. We create multiple hypotheses because we do not know what the market's going to do. Therefore, we have a scenario or a trade plan that describes what the auction should look like if the buyers or sellers take control. Those are our two main hypos, Hypo 1 and Hypo 2. Hypo 3 and Hypo 4 are our trend range expansion hypotheses, and we've been seeing a lot of them lately. This is a subscription room. If you're interested in checking it out, send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. There's no website, there's no blog. This is not a commercial venture. We do everything live here in the go-to, in the pre-market. Then we do live trading and analysis during the course of the trading day for our members. Please read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, and your own risk metrics. Yesterday, our main hypothesis was an open auction, just in range, just out of value, a move down into the 86 area, and then somewhere between there and the 75 area, we were looking for a rotation up, and basically we were looking for a balanced day. Both Hypo 1 and Hypo 2 were looking for a balanced day with trading between 27.85 and 28.05. The difference between Hypo 1 and Hypo 2 was Hypo 1 was going down first, then chopping up, and then Hypo 2 was an open auction in range, a false breakout, and somewhere between the 28.05 and the 09, we were looking for responsive sellers to step in and come down here and then start chopping and basing at the 27.83 to 27.80 area and start basing and then getting into our rotation. That's basically what we got. Our over-under line was the 27.95. Below that, we were starting to look at the possibility of Hypo 4 kicking in. Hypo 4 was a breakdown day and a move down into these TPO singles down here, and possibly a late day probe down into the half gap area. And this is why we have multiple hypos and understanding what levels to watch. And we were saying in the live room yesterday is that we were in Hypo 2, and then once we broke below the 83.75, we started looking at the possibility of Hypo 4 kicking in. And once we did break the 80.75, then we were clearly in Hypo 4, and we were targeting these two TPO singles at 75 and a quarter and 69 and a quarter, and the 63.75 with our daily ATR. Another good reason why we watch the average true range is what are we capable of without breaching the current average true range on the 20-period full session. So good trading day yesterday, trend day down. Sometimes it's hard to find and hold in that trend. We actually shorted in the room. 99.50 was my highest short, and I didn't hold it. I got out just in front of the VPOC. I did get short again though, but the problem is we were still expecting that bounce on Hypo 2 until we broke through the range low and broke that 80.75 area. Anyway, it is what it is. It was a good day any way you look at it. Taking a look at today's calendar for economic news, we had core PPI, core retail sales, PPI, retail control. Basically, they came out as expected. Slight miss here, slight miss beat there, but basically it was pretty flat news overall. 10 o'clock, we've got business inventories, and 10:30 we've got crude inventory. That's going to be the big one really today. Of course, there's headline news all over the place right now, and that's pretty much it for the news today. Don't forget that it is quad witching. It is Wednesday on quad witching, so the rollover on the March contract to June contract, the June contract should have most of the volume in it now. Taking a look at the overnight session, overnight we have a double distribution with a big LVN, and we have to be, if we get below the 77 today, we could get trapped in this area right here and chop and fill in the auction right here between 77 and 73. We'll talk about that. One second. Oh, somebody was having a problem with their mouse or their mic. Inventory is pretty split overnight. It's pretty neutral. So we did get a VPOC shift up to the upper distribution in around 80. If we can hold this 80 and accept this price, then I'm looking for a continuation up into the 86 and the 89 area. I think it's 89. What's the 3-day microcomposite? 89.75. So let's take a look at the macro to micro while we're at it. I always start my day with a simple candlestick. I use 20 SMA and 9 EMA. I'm looking at where we are in the different time frames. Start with the monthly, work my way down. I'm looking for slope and separation, strength of the trend, where the trend is being challenged or violated, and just to keep myself centered in terms of where are we in the bigger picture. Well, the bigger picture, folks, is we are clearly still in this uptrend on the monthly. When we look at the weekly, we are still in this uptrend on the weekly. When we look at the daily, we are still in this uptrend on the daily. When we look at the 4-hour, okay, we start to see a little bit of weakness coming in, but for the most part, okay, we're in a trend scenario up. When we look at the 30-minute, again, some consolidation, but for the most part, this trend is still intact. So don't get your shorts biased on too strong. Can we get a rotation down today? We saw some weakness yesterday. We had a bearish engulfing day. So yes, we can. But here's the thing. All right. Even if we come back down into this balance area, so this is the daily RTH chart. I started a microcomposite with the breakdown day on February the 2nd. We've created balance between 27.50, 54.75 and 26.34.50. Our microcomposite VPOC, or the most traded price in this area, is 27.1875. We came and chopped around. We accepted value higher at the 27.32 area, and then we gapped up and we broke out of this balance. We come back into this prior area where we tried to break out of balance around the 77.25. So far, we're accepting that. Our 3-day microcomposite VPOC is up here at 89.75. Just the scales are so big right now. It is 89.75. And we're inside of this value, and the value area low is sitting right on top of this prior microcomposite VPOC. So this 77 area is going to be a warning line for us. I'm actually using the 73.75 as my over-under line. And if we can hold that, accept that 80 overnight VPOC, looking for that move up into the 89. If we fall below the 73.75, then we could see some more weakness coming in. We still have some targets down here below still, and the key line in the sand below is going to be that 54.75. Anything inside of there, then we're coming back into this gap zone, and I would be looking for the gap to be filled and to move back down into this balance that we've been chopping in this heavy volatility and range, average to range expansion. We actually got up, our daily ATR had got up to close to 70 points, and that is huge. Now it's compressing. So we're compressing again. Our daily ATR on the full session 20 period is running at 45.91 now. So it's come down, 30 points in its average true range. Now, obviously, we're knocking out some really big days, and that's something that's bringing it down. But as it stands right now, still pretty large ranges on the average true range. The typical average true range on a daily should be somewhere around 20 points for the full session. And we're expanded twice that right now. So taking a look at the overnight, we have the double distribution. So we've got to be cognizant of that fact. I put all my levels in already. I'm watching 73.75. The LVN zone goes from the 77 down to the 73. So you see the 73.75 over under, and then the 2780 area, which is the overnight VPOC, is basically where I'm thinking we could get stuck today. So we are going to open up inside of range. There was no value yesterday. We were in price discovery down, so the value area doesn't mean anything to us. So we're going to open auction in range. Inventory is pretty neutral, so I'm looking for a wide opening swing on hypo 1 and hypo 2. And it's not going to change much in terms of what I'm looking at. I'm looking for an open auction in range. I'm looking for a wide opening swing. I'm looking for a move down to close the gap, test the over-under line, and somewhere between the 73 and the 65 area, I'm looking for a basing pattern and start working our way up and basically chopping and having an inside day today on hypo 1 and hypo 2. Hypo 2 is basically the opposite of that, an open auction in range, a push up into the 3-day VPOC, the 89.75, maybe a push up into the 90s, and then finding responsive sellers and rotating us in and basically coming down and closing the gap and chopping inside and filling in this area of the overnight session. Those are my hypo 1 and hypo 2. I give them equal weight. Hypo 3 is a open test drive, a failure to get below the 73.75, maybe just take out the gap by a quick dip down, but buyers taking control early, moving us up into that 89.90 area, chopping here, get the continuation wave up, and push up again into the 2800s, and chop at the 2800, the century mark, and then push up into the half gap zone up here. Our daily upside ATR target is 2808 and a quarter. Our downside daily ATR target is all the way down here in 3750. So we have range capabilities, which brings me to hypo 4. Hypo 4 is a open auction in range, failure to take out the overnight high or just take it out and fail, and then have a breakdown day, come down into the 65 to 62, chop at the range low from yesterday, then fail, test the key line in the sand below, which is the value area high of the microcomposite, and then break down and come all the way back down and come back into that prior microcomposite and close somewhere down here in the 33 to 45 range and close this naked close down here and close the gap. So that is hypo 4. So those are my 4 main hypotheses. If you take a quick look at gold, gold continues to chop in this balance zone between the longer time frame microcomposite VPOC in the 23 area and the shorter time frame VPOC at the 1819 area, and we're just seeing chop. Nothing changes in gold. The breakout we're looking for is above the 29 and below the 14. Look for those two to break. Which side it breaks. The targets above are 31, 32 area and 39. And anything above 39, look for the continuation up to the 49. Below, the 19, look for them to come down again and test the 14. Any break of the 14, look for the 13.033 and 1300, and anything below the 98, we're looking for the move back to the composite VPOC down here at the 1284.90, which is the most traded price going all the way back to October the 24th, 2008. That's going to complete our pre-market session. If you're a guest here and you want to come in for the free session, today, tomorrow, or next week, just send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. Trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.